Hello, storyteller, storytelling Ron. I don't feel very enthusiastic about doing this video, but I feel like I just should. It's going to be, like all my videos, very babbly, but it's kind of a serious subject of porn, because it's a huge issue amongst Christian men, right? And even on the culture. I believe like pagans are all addicted to porn, the men, even sadly young boys and now girls in elementary school. They're making it so damn accessible. It's very addictive. It rewires your brain. So porn, it's weird. The word porn, it's not porn. It's masturbating to porn. That's the word. That should be the term. I do not masturbate to porn. I do not partake in it. So none. Okay. So if, and I do not masturbate or, I have a healthy sexual life. So, and it is to me based off of my previous atheist, erotic, kinky desires and all that. But, it is laser focused on one person, my wife, and she does have a rule. She does have a rule ever since we became Christian. Not every night. That's her rule. And she still uses that rule on me. And I'm not that, I have my phases, but before, oddly, I had less sex with her because of my porn addiction. I didn't need that. How pathetic is that? The most sexualized culture of paganism doesn't even desire to have, we desire porn, masturbating. We desire masturbating or porn or whatever than we do our own actual love for our wife, So anyway, this is my ministry is not for porn, but it comes across as a Christian. And I even had this, and even in our church, it's a very sort of, I feel like it should be talked about more. It's not talked about that much. And yet I'm sure it's an underlying issue with a lot of Christian men, especially the younger men, but the older men. And I had some controversy, I think, in my dealings because I'm like in a group that I was in, we had a discussion on porn and, or lust rather. But to me, lust, the all pervasive issue of lust is porn, masturbating to porn. And the group didn't, even though that was the subject, the group did not want to talk about porn, the men. And I'm like waiting. And they kept, talking lightly about glancing too long. And that kind of ticked me off because we only had like 20 or 30 minutes to discuss things in the group. And they kept going on and on about this how long did you look for? I'm like, what are you? And I finally said, like 2 minutes left. And I said, why don't we talk about masturbating to porn? And then they all freaked out. And I kind of like lost it there. I mean, lost my, I'm kind of the black sheep in my church anyway, but I lost sort of my respect for this group, because they weren't talking about the real issue. And I never talked to anyone about this. And I just didn't want to be disruptive anymore in the group because I kind of was like a little disruptive in my, harshness and, and you see how I am on this YouTube video. So I just decided to remove myself, and it wasn't nothing angrily or anything. It was just fine. I just said, I don't want to be that. If they want to talk at this level or if they want to talk at this level, but yet I want to talk at this level, the crude stuff about Christian men. But, anyway, so that was a kind of a little confessional there. Perhaps one day I'll do it again, but I just don't have time now that I'm doing this ministry here. This is my thing. So, there I go, babbling on again. Okay. So let me talk about, so anyway, the resolution of that group was, Ron wants to talk about that. And I'm like, well, and I said, I don't want to hear anyone teach me about Christ if they're masturbating to porn. I don't want anyone teaching me about Christ if they're masturbating to porn. And I said that outright to all of them. So if you're a leader here or Christian group leader or whatever you are, if you're masturbating to porn, don't teach me about Christ. And I said that pretty harshly, and no one responded. They're all like, okay, Ron, all right, we got it, whatever. And it fizzled because I was like waiting for someone else to add to that. And anyway, yeah. Okay. I'm not angry at them. Not angry though, but I'm just like, I need to take my brusqueness, my rude crudeness somewhere else and not there. Okay. Anyway, let me bring up this, that spurned this on. This is porn. So there's going to be a lot of, adult imagery here. It's not, I don't think there's going to be any nudity based on what I've been looking at, but there's going to be a lot of talk of porn stuff here. And I'm free from porn. Jesus Christ freed me from porn. It was weird. I didn't do it myself. It was very weird. I was becoming Christian. I was very joyful, but I thought I could just keep my porn because it was harmless. I wasn't doing it, masturbating to porn. I thought I could continue masturbating to porn, pulling my pants down, jerk off right here, my family in my home with my daughters, asleep or whatever, my wife asleep. I thought I could continue masturbating to porn, like an idiot, like a damn fool, while I was becoming Christian. But weirdly enough, I don't know, it was very weird. God just, I'm just going to fess this up. I was kind of concerned. I was kind of thinking about it. Should I, it was weird. It was very light to me. The weight of it, the guilt of it was kind of light. And I was like, I don't know. What was odd is that I felt like Jesus was watching me when I was masturbating to porn. So I felt like this is uncomfortable. I envisioned him sitting on a bench in New York, in a park in New York City, with the sense of a city all around, but him sitting on a bench, kind of hunched over, with the, hands on his knees, kind of a pose, and wearing his sandals in his robe and just looking at me. I'm like, stop looking at me. I'm just trying to do something here. I'm trying to do my typical normal man thing. It's not a typical normal man thing. Anyway. So I remember sweeping the floors, and my wife, and she knew she didn't know the extent of it, but she knew Ron's going to do what Ron's doing. But, I just said, God, I don't know, maybe I need a sign. I was in bed, sleeping, or about to sleep. And I said, give me a sign. I want to, tomorrow, if I see pornography, the word pornography, if I see that anywhere in a billboard, because I'm not going to see that. I never see that. But God, if you show me that word, somewhere tomorrow, maybe that's a sign that I should stop doing pornography, because that's such a unique thing to see in a day, because I never see that word anywhere, unless I actively find it. So I'm sweeping. I chose the next day to sweep. I don't really sweep. I always vacuum, but I decided, I'm going to sweep today. And then my wife came out and she decided to play some of our Christian rap music, which she never does. She said, let me just hear it and listen to it. And so she started playing that. And I was sweeping around the living room, and what's his name came on. And I had like 200-300 songs. And only one song has the word pornography in it. And that was that song. It came on. It was, what's his name? What's the guy's name? I don't really listen to him anymore because he seems to be becoming very woke. It's kind of annoying. What's his name? Oof. I'm not gonna look it up. Anyway, he's a well-known rapper guy, but he had the word. He was addicted to pornography or whatever. And I was like, sweeping. It took me a second. I'm like, oh, dang. Out of all this, my wife never listens to Christian rap, but of all the Christian rap songs I had, because I hadn't bought a bunch at that point. I was so heavy into Shailene, although he's kind of all Obama follower, and I don't know, I'm just kind of weirded out about that. But I listen to a whole bunch of Christian rap because I don't really like rap, but I don't like rap because of what the message. But I like rap that's Christian because it's cool. But anyway, it wasn't Shailene, it was the other guy. But he brought it up. Pornography, and I was like, dang, I think I didn't last night I say if that word came up, or if I saw that word anywhere, I would know that was a sign. So that was my one big clear sign, I feel. Anyway, it was obviously coincidental, but it's what I asked for, and he gave it to me. And then that day, like a few hours later, or an hour, I don't know what it was, I kind of like in a zombie state went over to my computer. And I deleted like back then it was all about downloading off of those pirating sites. I deleted 4 gigs of video, like even my favorite folder I had, my harem. And that too, I had a vision too when I was reading Solomon, how he had this harem of women. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a harem of porn. So pathetic. So pathetic. So I deleted like 4 gigs. And back then 4 gigs was huge. For the low res blurry, they're not even full length videos kind of things. Anyway, and by the way, it was a progressively less addiction as well. I had like little spurns after that. And then I switched over to like burlesque stuff, to not to masturbate to, but to get me sexually going with the wife kind of thing. I would look at, say, burlesque on YouTube, it was where they're still covered up. I would do stuff like that. And I kind of still have that inclination today. Like I want to see some sort of sexual titillation, I guess is the word. But for the wife, because the confession here, the wife takes a little longer to get to bed. So I have to like titillate myself, but I do it in a very quick way. Like I want to see something to, and then I'm not gonna, because I can fall asleep, in bed like that. So if I can't like titillate myself to stay awake for the night that I'm, told her or we're going to, and it's different periods or whatever, but I don't use porn anymore. I just use something like, bikini, that kind of thing. I do still believe in that. So, in sort of, allowing myself to be titillated, not the right word, to keep my need. Otherwise I'm just going to get fat and go to sleep. So I do need some sort of beauty in my life, in the world to make me kind of still remember I'm a man kind of thing. Because otherwise I kind of get the wife doesn't always make herself attractive, and I mean my wife can make herself attractive, but the sweatpants type life that we get into, the monotony of that, I have to like break a little bit with, and I'm in charge of that, by the way, within our marriage. So I have to break that monotony by some sort of titillation or whatever. Is that the right word? Titillation? I kind of want to just look that up real quick. It's kind of a strange word, with the word tit in it. Titillation. Oh, come on, give me. Oh, titivation. Titillation. I think I'm spelling it right. Not giving me an option. Whatever. Maybe it's not a word. Titillate. Titillate. Oh, here we are. It's 1 T. Okay, 1 T. Titillate, to stimulate by touching lightly. Tickle. To excite pleasurably, superficially, or erotically. Yeah, okay. All right, whatever. All right, so let me go to this video here. Very sad. And this is the Kanye West. I guess his name is Yeezy? I don't know. All right, here we go, guys. It's, get ready. This one? We'll just go with this one. Okay, so actually, the Daily Mail, this is actually probably my biggest extent of porn that I do now as a Christian. Coming here to see, basically, like, this is, to me, is my porn site. I look for, I'm kind of just, sometimes I'll find like a link to one of these from the conservative sites, and I'll just start, going down that rabbit hole of celebrity, like, who do I know? Who do I not know? Who's, what's going on? I really do like, though, as a Christian, I really go for the ones where I see families out shopping or with their kids, celebrities with their kids. That's the one I kind of tend to go towards, when I check out these ones. I'm seeing a bunch of boob things all the time. Anyway, look at it. Kanye is getting dark, man. I mean, remember when he was Christian? He was like doing all that stuff, and I got his album. And it was kind of wonderful to see him become a Christian, and he was going to churches near where I up in Santa Clarita, because I go to Grace Community Church, and there's a bunch of smaller Reformed type churches up there, and he was going to a couple, visiting, and then starting his own thing, and so he wants to start Yeezy porn. I mean, yikes. Anyway, he's expressed regret that he watched pornography so often, even claiming adult entertainment had destroyed his family. So is he a Christian now? And I'm saying that rhetorically. I don't know if he's the chosen and his rolling holy dice has just failed him. He's rolling some nat ones here. I'm using my role-playing game terms. Is he going to be saved by God? I don't know. God is going to decide. God already knows. God already knows, by the way. And it could be that he's not saved and God is letting the traps take him. God's not going to protect. He's not going to save, right? And I too, I'm of the elect, the chosen, right? But I am not going to be so prideful and arrogant to say that, I'm 100%. Well, I feel that I am, but who knows? I could fall into a sin and and go down this porn path and be like, okay, thusly I was never saved. I'm just faking it right now. So what I'm trying to get at is I don't want to be so arrogant as to say, I'm better than him or better, in that sense. I want to just, this is a tough, sad thing. I feel sorry for him. I'm going to talk about the story of Daniels and Mike Moss too, because this is part of this whole thing here. So this is, before I would like, it was wired in my brain. I could tell there was an addiction. There's an opiate there. Now I look at this and go, yeah, that's a little weird. Okay, let's just do it now since he's here. So this Mike Moss guy, and I looked this guy up. I don't know. So he's like a porn producer and he was married to her, right? And you're like, are you jealous? Are you guys jealous out there? Okay. Well, let me explain something about this guy. I looked him up. Okay. So, I just did a little bit of a rabbit hole here. So Mike Moss gets porn women. He married Stormy Daniels for 2 years. So you get this porn woman, hardcore porn woman, right? You get, that's like the Blondie, the fake big booby things, sexual prostitute, harlot, professional, knows exactly how to please you as sexually, lasted 2 years. And it ended in domestic violence. So you get the porn addiction lottery win, right? This is the pinnacle. There's nothing bigger. This is it. And that wasn't enough for him. What does he need? 7 women? He only got 1 penis. And men with like polygamy and all this crap, it's like you only got 1 penis. What do you it's not that much. Polygamy is retarded. Okay, so and she's weird. She's married, divorce after divorce after divorce, and now she's claiming she's bisexual. She can't get because apparently men are not good enough, or you know what I mean. There's no satisfaction here. There's no peace here. It is constant. And divorce to me and breakups are right. They're draining. They're soul crushing. And if you're not soul crushed by a divorce or a breakup, then you're way gone. Okay, so let's get back to Yeezy here. Okay, man, it's just and his porn. Look at that. You can see it on the outside. It's demonic, and and what's going on here. It's not satisfying at him at all. And he's losing his children. He knows he's losing his children. And before Kardashian. So he's with Kardashian and addicted to porn. That's this life that you guys, that maybe you all think is addicting or want or desiring is apparently pretty pathetic. You get the hottest women, the most adored, glorified women, and yet you want to go hide away in a dark corner and masturbate to porn, to videos, to fake stuff, not even real stuff. You don't even want the real. You have the pinnacle of lustful women, most beautiful, admired, adored, and yet he had to go off. And he has Jesus Christ, but yet he went to porn. So is porn more stronger than Jesus Christ? No. Porn is one way for God to make the wicked go away from him. So when the wicked go before God, they're going to know exactly who they are. God doesn't even have to explain it to them. He wants them to know exactly. And by the way, people, if the wicked get what they want over you, if they destroy you with their wickedness, let them. Fight them. But if they win, don't worry about it. If they cheat on you, if they just, whatever, if they get what they want, trust me, that is the worst thing for them. The worst thing for a wicked person is for them to get what they want, to win, to achieve victory against you or me or whoever. That is the worst thing for the wicked, right? Think about it logically, philosophically. The wicked get what they want is wicked. The worst thing ever that could happen to a person. You know, so if the wicked do get what they want, don't let that bring you down at all. Don't let it, you know, pray for them and move on with your life, rebuild your life, redo your life, restart it, you know, go to be Jesus Christ. You know? And, you know, I remember him being all frustrated because like she was taking the children to these horrible schools. I want to bring that up. The private schools, he's, you know, he was in that sense correct that they're controlling them. They're going to make them trans. They're going to make them gay, whatever. And she's letting them. And he was frustrated with that. And he's a billionaire and he doesn't even have power to save his own children in this sense. And he's a Christian. So I'm a little, you know, I'm bummed out that he's not immune to it. And, you know, I know he became so hardcore Christian. Church, gospel, album, Christ is King, Jesus is King thing he did. And now he's, you know, and as a Christian, what do I have to say about this? Well, it's in the Bible. It's in the New Testament. I mean, it says many of us will fall away from God. It says many of us that proclaim Christianity will be false. I mean, so in my religion, you know, when you say we're Christians are hypocrites, I'm like, well, have you read the New Testament? It says we're going to be hypocrites. So I don't know. Does paganism say that pagans are going to be hypocrites? Does Islam say Muslims are going to be hypocrites? I don't know. I don't think so. I've never heard that concept from them. They just, for pagans, it's just, you know, let's do what we want and get what we want. Right. And Islam is do it or else, you know, whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to go there, but I mean, I want to focus on this porn thing here, but, so, you know, porn is something that will never satisfy. This guy is going worse and worse now. He wants porn. This is not enough for him now. He wants more now. He wants video porn. I mean, he's never going to be satisfied. He's going to be constantly, look at it. He had this hot porn chick and that wasn't enough. He had a domestic violence charge against him, beating her up. That's the penultimate satisfaction for this guy within less than 2 years of marriage, ending up beating her up. Whew. Okay. Another little bit I want to just bring up. Okay. So this is Jennifer Lawrence. This was years ago, but 2014-ish. So she did porn for her boyfriend, this guy, Nicholas Hoult. And, he sent here, it was a long distance, you know, I was in a loving, healthy, great relationship for 4 years. It was a long distance, and either your boyfriend is going to look at porn or he's going to look at you. Wow. So she made porn for him, or they had sex together and made porn, and so she could send it to him to watch when they were in a long distance relationship. I'm sure he was, and this is a big actor, right? He's got access to hot chicks, and he's addicted to porn. You know, and young. And this is the young dude at the time, masturbating to porn. Yet he can have hot, adored women. And I remember her too in an article back then too. And I never seen any of the stuff, even when I was an atheist back then. I remember her saying though in one article that her own like director or producer of her film was watching her porn. He had to go get it, watch it, or she said even cast crew members would come up to say, "I saw your film," and she was like, why do you have, you know? So she's surrounded by men, these Hollywood crew people in her movies who all sought her harlotry out, her nudity, her harlotry, her sexuality, her pornography. And she, you know, that's the world she lives in. They all wanted to see her porn. They all wanted to see her having sex is the world she lives in. So, solution, this is not my ministry, but I just looked up free from porn, little hard. There was a cool porn addict site I found a while ago, but I don't know where it is. I tried to find it. The one thing I found it very interesting, it said was porn will never satisfy you. Every time you masturbate to porn, you will still want to keep going. You know, it's an empty satisfaction that will never be satisfied. Never, you know, you always want more and do more and get weirder and weirder and creepier. And I certainly saw that in my own case too. It was funny how much porn you sifted through to find the one that's, the creepier and weirder ones you wanted. And I'm not up on all the like online porn these days. I've looked at it, so don't get me wrong. I have looked at it, but I don't delve into. I don't have a paid subscription. I don't do any of that. But I have looked at it just out of curiosity. But porn doesn't affect me the way, and I don't masturbate to porn anymore. So I still have some very peculiar, what's the word, fetishes for sure in sexuality, sexual imagery, and all that. So don't get me wrong. I am sexually charged. I am, but I don't masturbate to porn. I don't. And the lust I have always goes towards my wife. I don't want to cheat. Like I do go to goth clubs once in a while. We go, and it's very pornographic in a sense, not full on nudity, but the young girls wear very scantily clad outfits. Some of them do. And we, my wife and I talk about it and wish, we really do wish they were not so scant. We like I like the eroticism of goth, or and it's not even erotic. Well, it is erotic, I guess, but it's more of the, the whatever, the coolness of it, the darkness of it. I do like that. So, but again, I have no desire to follow these women home or talk to them or meet them or anything. I just go with my wife and we go dance and enjoy our reliving our 80s and 90s, and then come home, and I'm with happily with my wife. One thing I want to say about that too, I do feel like we are one of very rare people in there that are older and married together and still together. And I kind of want to just show that to them too, that there's an option. Is it a ministry for me? I don't know if it is. I don't think it's not really a ministry for me. It's just me just getting out and, here in Hollywood and doing a little bit of my little darkness in the past, my little romance with my wife. That is date night for my wife and I. I don't know. Just anyway, it's interesting. I would not recommend it to any of my fellow Christians, that's for sure, like church members or anything. Okay. So this is a site on, and you guys gotta, if you're addicted to porn, you gotta deal with it. I think that before anything else, you can't be an elder or a priest or a minister or anything if you're addicted to porn as a Christian man. And I'm not going to be so harsh on you in a sense. Like it's one of the sins. It's for sure. I had anger issues. I had to deal with that. But all lying must stop. Isolation. So that's a good point. My computer is open to the living room, and the door is always open. You need to set up your environment so it's always open. The only time I feel guilty and like a little worried if they're coming is when I'm at the Daily Mail looking at that celebrity stuff. I probably need to confess that to my wife. That's my porn addict. my one weirdiness. Anyway, isolation can no longer be your way of life. Yeah. So I always go to bed at the same time as my wife. That's a rule I have now. I always go to bed at the same time with her. So whenever she wants to go to bed, that's when I go to bed. And we have our little joyous battle of wits for about 5 minutes and then go to sleep. I mean, as long as she gets to bed soon, she generally gets to bed pretty soon now. So yeah, she used to take longer, but I've sort of figured out a way to, stay up. I actually now I stay up watching, YouTube videos, before in regular, not sexual, just regular stuff. Like now I'm watching Fallout gameplay. I play the Fallout game. So that keeps me up. I don't have to look for porn anymore, or not porn, but titillation anymore. Like I kind of did. Occasionally I did titillation. Actually, I have not looked for titillation in quite a while now. So as far as the bed at night thing. Okay. Isolation can no longer be your way of life. Yes. If you're with your wife, have your door open. Don't have a hidden room, closed up room when you're on your computer, and go to bed at the same time as your wife. Cut off the stumbling blocks of lust in your life. Oh no, that means I have to stop watching go to Daily Mail. Oh no. Anyway. So yeah, if anything, you can just, anyway, for me, it was just so sudden, right? My Jesus Christ just did it so suddenly. So I don't have like this, oops, what's going on with my mouse here? I don't have like my solution is this weird little thing I described earlier about, that moment. So I don't have I didn't do like 4 steps or 6 steps or something, or I don't know, maybe I did. What's going on with my mouse? It does this every now and then. Anyway, so you're just going to have to delve into looking for information. If you can talk to in a fellowship, it's weird. There's not a whole lot of, in my view, I haven't come across a lot in my church of this type of thing, but occasionally it does come up though. There's, how not to fight pornography. I found this. you just got to look up stuff, read through stuff, try to get your mind into, you know, how to do it. Where we see, I just wanted to bring that up, that there are solutions. I don't know what they are because it kind of was relatively easy for me, you know, in that sense. Jesus did. I didn't really do it. Jesus did it. So I think I'm pretty sure I'm chosen at this point, you know, because of that. Because if he's going to get me off of porn, which is a huge, which I had since I was a kid, addicted to it. Yeah. We had access to VHS tapes and secret, you know, yeah. Anyway, yeah, when I was a kid, a very, very sexualized life. It was kind of wacky or weirdy, creepy, in that sense, masturbation and adult porn access. Anyway, it was so huge. I mean, now it's far worse for the kids. So that we're having a huge problem here with this thing. And I think Christians need to speak up a lot more about porn. Anyway, so yeah, it's just kind of a draining, depressing, weird thing about it. And you know, for me, sexuality is incredible. I love it. My wife sort of loves it. But the intimacy and joy that we have is wonderful now. It's way better than when I was not a Christian. It's funny, it's silly, it's erotic, it's love, it's daily humdrum and chores and goofishness and all that. And I'm satisfied. I'm happy. You know, when I see hot, I'm in Hollywood, by the way. Every woman here is hot, like walking her dogs, jogging, constantly young women, you know, the women coming in to do whatever they're doing here in LA, you know, entertainment industry. And so they're everywhere, you know. And I look longer than just a glance. I look longer, but I just, you know, I hope they have and I create stories of, wow, I hope they have a good, you know, husband or become a good mother. Or there was one chick that, you know, wife and I, or there's a couple, there's a few regulars at the goth club that we see, but there's this one who was so, when I remember like she was so like erotically dancing and, you know, scantily clad with guys. And now we see her with one guy all the time. And we're like, hey, you know, maybe she's going to have a good relationship. I don't know. You know, with one man and become a wife and a mother and, you know, be sexual and be erotic with him, and satisfy his needs. But maybe they look happy. I mean, you know, and I'm like joyful for that when I see that kind of thing. Actually two scantily clad young girls were like this. And then we see them now with a regular man. I don't know, maybe. And I'm hoping that since they see us, they see me with my silverback with the same cutie little wife, and we dance. And we don't dance erotically either. We dance like 80s goth fun, you know. And then every now and then we will touch, but I will touch her in a very gentlemanly way when we dance, and not in a sexual way. And to me, the more gently way I touch her, like, is I think more erotic and more romantic, and they all see it. You know, and I put my head. She's 5'2". She claims she's 5'3" now, but I don't think so. But I put my head against hers as I bend over and dance, you know, in a non-gyrating way, giving her a hug, you know. I'm hoping that does help them see that, you know, you don't have, you know. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, porn. Yeah. So in this life, in the game of life, God is going to give you as many sins as you want. The wicked. He's going to give them everything they want. When the wicked get what they want, that's the worst thing for them. For you and me, in Jesus Christ, we get Jesus Christ. That's all we get. The joy and peace of it, free from your addictions. They're still there. They're still, you know, but it's weird. I go to the Daily Mail and I see the porny stuff, and I don't feel that same, I gotta masturbate now. I feel like, well, which ones have the kid, the families, and they're divorced. Dang it. You know, I go down that route now. That's a bummer. The kids are gonna, you know, have the separation and this worldview that's not, anyway. I go down that path. I go down the family path as a Christian, you know, looking at stuff like this. But I don't go there because I want to. I go there because A conservative will send a link to me about some article there about some harrowing story, and then I'll start seeing, or whatever, and then I'll see the porn stuff, and yeah, very sad. Anyway, that's my video about porn. At least the first of I don't know how many. I don't. It's not my ministry, by the way. This is so. If you have a porn problem, start addressing it. I did it in a weird way by asking God to help me and giving me a sign. That's one way you could try. If that is frustrating, try baby steps and a little at a time. And if you're single as a Christian man, I'm not gonna be as harsh with you as a married man. A married man, I'm gonna be how you're pathetic. But yeah, figure it out. You got to focus on that and get it done. And I'm the other side of it. By the way, me free from porn is pretty. I'm pretty. There's one. I was mentoring a guy who chose his porn over Christianity. I mean, in my face, he said, "I'm not going to give it up." I was like, "Well, you don't have to give it up, but you just kind of." And he's all, no, actually, two guys I know directly chose porn over Jesus Christ. I was trying to mentor him. Yeah, they literally just said, I'm not going to get my porn. Anyway, all right, the game of life. Roll holy dice.